Okay, the way we're going to run this portion is we will be asking alternating questions across the board. Mr. LaRue, your first question will be for Mr. Johnson.
Dr. Johnson, Congressman McHugh, first of all, thank you both for being here to share your views with us and offering your service to the people of the North Country. Dr. Johnson, there's been talk for many years about a northern tier highway to benefit jobs, to benefit transportation across the North Country and so on. 50-plus years, dating back even to the late Congressman Bob McEwen. What is your position on that highway, and if it's needed in the North Country, and would you lead a fight for or against support of it?
I think that the northern tier highway, the rooftop highway, is a needed improvement to our transportation system. Towns grow with arterial transportation roads, and we would certainly need that. It's been languishing for years and years and years and years, and nothing seems to get done on it. I am hoping that when I go to Congress as a member of the majority, and it's very clear that the House is going to change its membership. When I get there, I hope that they will take very, very good care of me, because they know how insecure this seat is going to be in the next election, and I will indeed lead the fight to get funding for that and start it actually being built rather than continually being studied.
And a follow-up, Bob?
No, actually it's 30 seconds to Mr. McHugh.
Well, the good doctor is correct to the extent it had languished until I pumped in nearly $250,000 to revive it. The studies that the federal dollars I brought back to this North Country region reestablished the initiative, and I'm very, very proud to say that we've made marked progress toward the completion of that initiative. We have appropriated nearly $10 million in construction costs to begin the process of hooking up Route 81 into what eventually would be that. So I think the record's clear. We have a record of achievement and bring it to the forefront.
And a rebuttal, Dr. Johnson?
Not particularly.
Okay. Bob, the format was given to me as the follow-up question would come to the candidate, and then a rebuttal would come from the opposing candidate. Okay, so Carolyn, your question would be for Congressman McHugh.
My first question deals with Johanna's Law, H.R. 1245, which is referred to the Subcommittee on Health in March 2005. Dr. Johnson has a background in health, and you co-sponsored this bill. Every 6.5 minutes, a woman in the United States is diagnosed with some form of gynecological cancer, and 29,000 women die every day, or every year, excuse me. This bill is supposed to help with physicians training, education for women. My question is that it's taking so long to get this through the committee. Should it fail, is there any other bill that you would co-sponsor or sponsor to address these same issues to minimize those statistics?
The short answer is absolutely. I have a little bit of experience, as I suspect the vast majority of people in this room do, with cancer touching their family. And I hope my mom forgives me on this, her 82nd birthday, if I say just a few weeks ago she had the 5th anniversary of her freedom from breast cancer. It is an important, critical issue, and I have tried to, through my entire career, but particularly, I'll be honest with you folks, since my mom was struck with it, is support those initiatives wherever they may come from, Democrat or Republican alike, to try to ensure that we have the best, most comprehensive programs to address those kinds of issues. The Johanna's Law, I think, is a good one. I'm frustrated by the fact that it has not yet passed, but clearly if there are other paths to success, I'm not just willing, I'm anxious to adopt them.
Carolyn, a follow-up to Mr. McHugh. Dr. Johnson, a rebuttal?
The obvious answer is, of course, anyone would support it. But the other more important answer is that this Congress doesn't care about us. I'm a physician, and I have seen people suffer not only from gynecological disease and cancers, but from so much more. This Congress doesn't care about us, and they're not going to pass that bill. When I get there in the majority, and when the Democrats take over the House of Representatives, they will pass this bill and so many other bills to help us with our health care.
Thank you. Shane, your question will be for Dr. Johnson.
Dr. Johnson, is Congress moving in the right direction to ensure that Northern New Yorkers breathe clean, quality air that does not negatively affect their health? If not, what needs to be done?
There's a bill running around Congress called the Clear Skies Act. Clear skies does not mean clean air. No, we have got some of the worst pulmonary disease in the nation, and we've got to clean up the Midwestern power plants that are spewing all this particulate matter into the air, and nothing's been done. We need a new Congress, we need a new leadership, and we need new people to start making sure that our air and our water is a good quality.
And a follow-up, Shane? Mr. McHugh, rebuttal?
Well, to the last question, I would note when the Democrats had the majority, the NIH budgets remained flat since the Republicans took over. We have a 400% increase in the research funds. As to what you just asked about, Shane, I would say that I think the Bush administration has done some things right, a lot of things wrong, and one of the things they've done wrong is what's called new source review. While they've paid some attention to acid rain, they haven't taken a comprehensive enough approach. That's why I've opposed them in those kinds of initiatives, and I'll continue to do it because it's the right thing. It's not politics.
Bob, your question will be for Congressman McHugh.
Congressman, with President Bush's policies on the war on terror, as a matter of fact, some changing policies I see today as well, Iraq and Afghanistan, resulting in low ratings in the polls, and some Americans, some at least, becoming war-weary after 5 years. There appears to be some effect on some key congressional races in this campaign. What do you feel right now as a member of the Armed Services Committee as our best approach in the near future or future course for this war? And do you feel that this has an important impact on this election campaign between you and Dr. Johnson?
Well, to answer your last question first, Bob, I think clearly the American people are understandably very concerned, not perhaps so much about the war on terror, although that's a troubling issue, but the policies, so much as they are in Iraq. I have been highly critical of this administration since the very first days of the invasion of Iraq. We had absolutely no plan for the day after. How do we control the peace? We have not had enough troops in theater. I think Secretary Rumsfeld has not been flexible enough, has not been adaptable enough, and I have said so publicly for more than 3 years. Having said that, I think the encouraging thing is that in the last 6 days or so, there have been some substantial changes into how we approach this. This should not be an open commitment. I think we have to send a message to the Maliki government that this is something that they have to get serious with. Only the Iraqi people can win this, and if they won't, we cannot win it for them.
And a follow-up, Bob?
Congressman, do you feel that this is, there are many congressional campaigns where Republicans are being tied to the president as far as those policies are concerned. Are you tied to those policies, or do you feel that this could be the perception of you in this campaign, that it could affect votes?
Anything could happen, Bob. I think if people look at the record and look at the things I've said for the past 5 years, post 9/11 and post our invasion of Iraq, they'll understand that I've been highly critical of Secretary Rumsfeld. I've been highly critical of the shortcomings that we have embodied. I can't tell you what's going to motivate the people when they go to the polls on November the 7th. I certainly hope it's based on my record, based on my experience, the things I've done to benefit the life and the quality of life of the people here in their own country, but that's up to them.
Dr. Johnson?
John, the words have such a ringing character. The problem is you call for change, but on June 16th this year you voted for staying the course. You voted for the House War Resolution 861. I'm sorry, John. I personally, and I think many, many people are tired of the smoke and mirrors. You say one thing and you vote another thing. Staying the course is not farsighted, it's blind. Staying the course is not resolute, it's reckless. We need to leave Iraq. We need to leave Iraq to the Iraqis, pull back to over-the-horizon positions, and let them take care of their own political problems.
Thank you. Carolyn, your question will be for